Today on Great Day Houston, Body Beautiful Week continues, and we'll show you how to rev up your thyroid to help you get the body of your dreams. And now, live from the Channel 11 studios, it's Great Day Houston. And here's your host, Whitney Casey.
Okay. All right, so you have to stick with us, though, because do you know how important your thyroid is when it comes to losing weight? We are going to tell you. Plus, you'll never believe what we're going to tell you about your thyroid. If you're tired, if you're cold, if you're cranky. Sounds like PMS? Well, it's not. It may be your thyroid. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. Well, if you've been fighting the battle to lose weight, you know, who hasn't? You may have tried everything, exercise, eating right, you know, sleeping, all those things. Nothing seems to work. Well, we've got some answers. All right, Dr. Richard Leconey is here from the Institute of Anti-Aging, and he is here to talk about thyroids. You know, your thyroid, everybody sort of says,
yeah,
you know, says
they're not even
it.
sure what it is.
Yeah, they throw it out like, oh, maybe
yeah,
your thyroid.
Right.
You know, but what is it?
Well, I think the best way to think of the thyroid gland is that it's like your thermostat. The thyroid gland regulates your basal body temperature. It regulates the rate at which you metabolize your fuels. It really regulates your metabolic rate. People say my metabolism is slow because they feel sluggish, because they feel mentally sluggish. They have trouble losing weight. It's because they may, in some cases, have a low thyroid.
Or they're eating canned soup every day.
Or they're just,
That's right.
There are a few other reasons, too.
And you brought one of your patients with you, Deborah Davis,
That's
along.
right.
Deborah, thank you so much for being here.
You.
What were some of the symptoms? Tell the people out there to look for. What were you feeling when you checked in?
Well, I think the first thing that I began to notice was really a major fatigue. I mean, beyond just feeling tired at the end of the day, it was a matter of even trying to stay awake at work during the middle of the day. But I also became very frustrated because I felt like I was in a mental fog. I couldn't think as clearly as I used to. I was cold all the time. My hair became brittle, began to break off and began to thin. And I got really frustrated at being told this was part of the normal aging process. So at that point, I consulted with Dr. Leconey, and he was able to help me.
How do you know if, besides those symptoms, how do you diagnose? It's hypothyroidism, right?
Hypothyroidism, low thyroid hormone. And of course, besides looking for the signs and symptoms, which is critical, then you can do a blood test. And a blood test will tell you whether your thyroid hormone is high or low.
That's it? Just a blood test?
You have to correlate things, but
yeah.
yes.
Have you had it done?
Oh, yeah. Well, I do blood work. You know, I'm always giving blood. I think everybody should check their blood once a year anyway, you know, and do a whole blood workup and stuff. So they're always checking it out. And there's also, with people who do take thyroid, I think it's important to say to people, because I know a lot of people don't know this, that there are a lot of other medications that people are taking that are counterintuitive, contraindicated with thyroid. So you have to make sure certain vitamins and certain medications should be taken at different times. If you take your thyroid in the morning, maybe you take your vitamins a couple hours later rather than the exact same time.
Like calcium
in particular.
And thyroid, it neutralizes it.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Calcium?
You shouldn't take them at the same time.
And the same group of people are taking both, because frequently hypothyroidism is a woman over 40 who's taking a calcium for her bones, and oops, you know, why is it not working? Because you're taking them at the same time.
And a lot of people don't know that, so I think it's important to say that.
4 hours
Definitely.
difference.
It was great.
Yeah.
You know what? We have a before and after of Deborah, and I wanted to take a look at that if we could, because it's pretty dramatic. I mean, you do. I mean, the other one's a little bit blurry, but you look like a different woman. You look like you lost a lot of the puffiness from your face.
I did. It was interesting when I came in for my 6-week checkup. The person who came out to get me didn't recognize me. They thought I hadn't come in for my appointment.
Oh wow!
And so it was really a dramatic difference.
But after 4 months of doing this, do you have to stay on this for life then?
Well, you know, your thyroid gland, if it's impaired, is not going to regenerate. We don't have that technology. So yes, you'll be on this to maintain yourself for the rest of your life.
And does how much does it cost? And does insurance?
Thyroid is really inexpensive. It's a hormone that's been around for 50 years. Generic, medications are available. It's very inexpensive.
But it also doesn't mean that now you can take a thyroid pill and not No, and not exercise and not eat well, and you know, I mean, so it's really important to make sure that everything else in your life sort of has the right kind of balance.
Well, the way I express that is thyroid. If you're low in thyroid, all of your weight loss efforts are disabled.
Right.
Thyroid hormone will enable your normal weight control efforts. In other words, your exercise and your proper diet and nutrition. If you're doing all the right things and you can't seem to lose weight, it's stubborn. It's resisting all your normal efforts. Thyroid could be the problem. There's
but what about the pituitary gland? A lot of people talk about that.
You could think of the pituitary gland as the master gland, if you will. It controls the thyroid, among others. It controls your adrenal glands, growth hormone. So it's more of a master controller, the brain of the endocrine system.
Okay, now you brought some of the treatments with you.
And that relates to the fact that the thyroid is just one hormone, a very important one, but one hormone amongst many. Certainly your adrenal glands, the ovarian hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and as well as others like growth hormone. I think for hormone replacement is becoming much easier now with the advent of things like transdermal creams. This is just a little cream that you can apply, and yet it has all the estrogen and progesterone, and you put a little bit of it on every day and just rub it in. And it goes right through the skin.
But you don't put it on every day.
Oh, yeah. You're putting on estrogen?
I think this is just a blank, I hope.
I believe your wife is in the audience.
I'm going to start
decorating
decorating the house now.
That was great. I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you so much, Dr. And thank you so much, Dr. Leconey. All right, here's how you can find Dr. Leconey and all that good information on thyroid. He's right there, and you can also log on to that website, antiaginginstitute.com. His number right there. Thank you, guys, and we will be right back because Christina...